So in the past, this is how I used to pretty much function. I used to wake up when I want. I used to go to bed when I want. I used to eat when I want and pretty much do everything spontaneously. There was no fixed time and place that I had assigned to things. I was just doing it based on my whims and desires. And to be honest, it was quite fun. This was really fun to just wake up and do random things and just do whatever you want. But over a period of time, I realized that this did not give me the rewards that I wanted. Like I was not where I wanted to be in life. And I thought to myself, why is this? And the reason was pretty clear to me. I had an unstructured day. I didn't know what my priority items were. I was just doing items which I felt like doing at that particular moment. That is when I decided to start living my life by a routine. Now, a routine to me was a very scary word in the past. It represented a prison cell. It represented me in chains. It represented me not being spontaneous. It represented, well, pretty much not having fun. It was kind of boring to live your life by a piece of paper that dictates what you're supposed to do and when you're supposed to do. And that is what most people think of routines as. But over a period of time, my understanding of what a routine is has completely changed. A routine no longer represents a prison cell. It represents a way for me to have the most perfect day, a most happy day that I could possibly have. It's no longer filled with constraints. It's no longer restricting. It's rather just a suggestion that would allow me to have a wonderful day. The younger me had committed this mistake of making my routine really, really hard. Like wake up at 4:30, go to the gym, and then study for 4 hours, and then read a book, and start a company, etc., etc. So this made me quite anxious and stressed. Like I used to wake up and look at the routine, and I was like, nah, we ain't doing this shit. And I would just go back to playing video games at 4:30 a.m. So this is something that you should watch out for. A routine is not a prison sentence. It is just your ideal day, your most happiest day, what it would look like. And another thing that really, really discouraged me from using routines was my perfectionist attitude. I truly believe that in order for this routine to work, I need to do every single thing on it without fail. Like I had to be a perfectionist. I realized that even if you follow that routine by 50%, you are still way better than not following a routine at all. And it doesn't have to remain 50%. Like after a couple of months or years, you are going to be hitting that routine with a success rate of 90% plus. And that is what happened in my case. You see, when you live an unstructured life, you are pretty much using your brain points, your time and energy into things that not necessarily are high value items. They don't necessarily yield the best results in your own life. Like if I just woke up randomly at a random time and just started answering emails or writing emails to strangers or replying to my messages, etc., etc., even though I'm technically being productive, this is not the most effective use of my time because this is not going to allow me to excel in the domains that I truly want to excel. And what a routine represents is a well thought out plan, a well thought out value system. When you sit to write a routine down, you pretty much put high priority items into it. Like for me as a YouTuber, the highest priority item that I have is, well, making YouTube videos. It's not replying to some random email or sending emails or organizing my cupboard. These are low priority items. A routine makes you think of these high priority items. So that's another advantage of having a routine. You actually have to think what things in my life carry the most weight and what things in my life will actually allow me to progress towards my goals the fastest. Otherwise, without a routine, you're just scattering your resources left and right, waking up, doing things based on whim and raw emotion, and pretty much just walking in circles. You're not following a linear path, you're literally just circling around. And the worst part is you're spending all this time and energy and not heading anywhere. You have nothing to show for it. A routine really allows you to concentrate this time and energy that you have into specific things that will allow you to actually head somewhere. Additionally, once you have the time and when you note it down for something, you are much more likely to do it. For example, let's say I usually go to the gym at 7 a.m. or something like that, just an example. If I have the time and place noted down, my body is somewhat physiologically and psychologically prepared for this task. It's almost like it gives me a burst of energy around that time and gets me focused, and I'm in the right state of mind to hit this workout. However, if I don't have the time and venue of a particular activity noted down, then that activity can happen at any moment or it cannot happen at all. And this is like very psychologically taxing. You require a lot of motivation to then pursue that activity. A routine takes the requirement of having high motivation away. You almost are prepared for the activity well beforehand, so you're much more likely to do it. And believe me, this is such a competitive advantage. If you have been living your life by a routine for, let's say, the last 1 or 2 years, you're absolutely going to beat the brakes out of a guy who's just living an unstructured life. His efforts are all chaotic. Half the time he's not able to do the things that he kind of wants to do because he's not motivated enough to do them. If you really want to start applying a routine to your life, start by adding a couple of simple activities in your routine, something that you're more likely to do it, and put buffer time between each activity. Like, don't just fill it with activity after activity back to back, because usually activities take longer than you expect them to take. So make sure you add like 15 to 20 minutes of buffer time between activities. Like, put a 15-minute buffer time after your gym session before you hit the next activity, because who knows, you could be stuck in traffic, or that activity could take longer, or I don't know, life throws a boomerang at you. And believe me, I've learned this the hard way. Well, that's it for today.